But first, we turn to our top story out of Chicago once again. Embattled Empire actor Jussie Smollett, he is still proclaiming his innocence after being formally accused of orchestrating what is an elaborate hate crime hoax and charged with a felony. And Smollett posted bond. He went directly to the set of Empire. It is reported that he told the cast and crew, quote, "I swear to God, I did not do this." But according to TMZ, many of his co-stars, they're not buying it, and they are bleeping furious. And today, producers announced that Smollett's role on Empire has been cut from the final 2 episodes. Now, Jussie Smollett's lawyers, they are correct. He must be assumed innocent, presumption of innocence before being proven guilty. With that said, the evidence against him as presented by the Chicago police yesterday and others is now overwhelming and, frankly, beginning to border on incontrovertible. And according to prosecutors, Smollett paid these 2 brothers thousands of dollars to stage a homophobic, racist assault against the actor on the streets of Chicago using a noose, bleach, all while wearing red MAGA hats, Make America Great Again hats, and ski masks. Both of those individuals have been testifying both before the grand jury and to the police against Smollett. And as you can see right there, that video, evidence shows that pair buying the items used allegedly in the assault. Surveillance also shows the brothers' arrival at the scene of the incident. Phone records indicate Smollett called the brothers both before and right after the staged attack, and text exchanges spell out how Smollett solicited their help. And perhaps the most damning and most puzzling piece of evidence, he paid the accomplices with a check, kind of AKA Jerry Springer. Now, naturally, the spin has already started. Smollett allegedly is trying to tell the police he had an untreated drug problem. Texts indicate that, in fact, the actor may have purchased the party drug known as Molly or ecstasy from one of the brothers involved in this hoax. So is he saying the drugs made him do it, but I didn't do it? Well, except ecstasy or Molly has never been known to cause any hate crime hoax. And meanwhile, Conspiracy TV, MSNBC, they're toting a brand new conspiracy. Maybe the Chicago police are just lying. Take a look.
This police department did in 2016 openly, through their union, support Donald Trump. And a lot of this case has been focused on the MAGA statements. So to have a police department that hasn't been as cooperative as they have been this round, do not openly give information, do openly lie and mishold information in cases, and then to know that they are have openly supported Donald Trump in the 2016 election, a lot of activists on the ground are saying, wait, what's going on here? Who do we believe out of these 2 suspect people?
Now, of course, most in the media mob, the hate Trump media mob, are coming to grips with the Smollett story the only way they know how. Blame Trump some more. Everything's Trump's fault. The dog bites, the bee stings. If you're feeling sad, it's Trump's fault. Yep. Incredibly, the hate Trump media mob has now officially lost any sense of reality in a complete state of hate Trump psychosis. Take a look.
There are a lot of evidence of violent incidents that happen at these MAGA rallies, and I just don't want to have Jussie Smollett distract from that.
Obviously, we're not going to put what happened on Trump, but what we can put on Trump clearly is the heightened panic and angst.
Today, folks that believed Jussie as a default position, we feel sadness today. We don't feel stupid today. I feel bad for the people who did not default to that empathy, who think that this is a game, who are gloating today. Those people have something fundamentally wrong with them.
Are you listening to this? This hate Trump media mob loses it when President Trump calls them out for fake news, which they are. But what they're doing is even worse. They continually rush to judgment. It's always guilt by accusation, but only if you're a Republican or a conservative. Pushing blatantly false stories, conspiracy theories, impugning the character of millions of Americans, now even teenagers, that may wear a MAGA hat. Why? To push their favorite narrative every second, minute, hour of every 24-hour day, every week, month, year. Trump's evil. His supporters are evil. And they are morally superior. This is why fake victimhood is on the rise. Now, attention-seeking Trump haters know that they will garner sympathy almost immediately and fame from the media because it advances their narrative. all while impugning the character of Trump supporters in the process. And so in the era of Trump, we see hoax after hoax after hoax. Very little reporting on it. Remember racist graffiti on a building at Eastern Michigan University, staged by a former student. A woman in New York saying that, oh, a group of pro-Trump teens vandalized her car while yelling Trump 2016. Turned out she vandalized her own car. Homophobic slurs spray painted on the side of an Indiana church by the church organ player. Look at the side of your screen. Fake hate crimes are far too common in this country. And time again, this media mob and Democrats, if it fits their agenda, they buy these stories hook, line, sinker, constantly rushing to judgment. And by the way, they hold up each eventual hoax as a shining example of why Trump supporters are horrible people. And remember, we're the smelly Walmart people, the irredeemable deplorables. We cling to our God, Bibles, guns, and religion. And in doing so, they ruin the reputation and in some cases the lives of very good, honorable, decent people. And when the truth is revealed, crickets. They just move on to the next fake news story. No apologies, no accountability, no mea culpa, no nothing. This is what happened in the case of Richard Jewell. Remember, I thought it was so bad in 1996. The media mob there accused him of being the Olympic bomber. Why? Because he lived with his mother. I was on the air at the time. Richard was listening. I said, that's the most idiotic theory I've ever heard. Turns out he was a hero. But watch this.
You've got Jay Leno referring to Richard as Unidoofus. The New York Post referring to him as a Rambo. The Atlanta Journal and Constitution calling him everything from a villain to a person seeking the limelight, an overzealous fool.
Everybody in the world thinks that he bombed the park because of the way he's been portrayed in the media.
If they could fool me, someone who's supposed to be educated and experienced in being fair and objective and reaching solid conclusions, if they could fool me, then boy, they fooled a lot of people.
And as bad as it was then, it is so much worse with the media mob today. That attorney you saw is Lin Wood. He found some justice, thankfully, for his client through the civil court system. But Jewell has since passed away at a really young age. I believe, and so does Lin Wood, that the stress of all of that helped contribute to his heart condition. And what the media put him through was pure hell. Lin Wood now representing Covington High School student Nicholas Sandmann, who was the latest victim, a 16-year-old kid now, of the mob's politically motivated anti-Trump rush to judgment. This mob, their attacks on Nicholas Sandmann were so insane, many even on fake news CNN, Conspiracy TV, MSNBC, and elsewhere actually started to talk about the racist scourge of red Make America hats. Okay, a hat that says make this country great again is a trigger? What's next? Not guilty of a crime? Maybe somebody suffering from hate Trump derangement syndrome? Watch this.
It has become an invitation for confrontation. Some have even referred to the hat as a modern-day version of the Confederate battle flag.
The hat in some ways represents, for many of us, a kind of racial animus.
The MAGA hat carries a certain connotation that provokes a conditioned reaction from many people, especially for marginalized people.
Just think about the symbol of that red hat. When I see the Make America Great Again hat now, Chris, I am triggered.
A red Make America Great Again hat caused me to do these things. And all these hate Trump media blaming a fake hate crime on a hat. Actually, hate crimes are going totally unreported. Where was the media hysteria over attacks where Trump supporters were punched, kicked, assaulted, harassed, stalked, all because of their political beliefs? Don Lemon, have you ever covered that? Robin Roberts? Anyone else in the hate Trump media? You talk about the rise in the far left hatred or obsess about the physical attacks on people merely wearing a red MAGA hat? Why? How many of these people support Black Lives Matter? What do we want? Dead cops. What do we want them now? Pigs in a blanket. Fry them like bacon. It doesn't fit their narrative. Those people don't seem to matter if you're a conservative and wear a Make America Great Again hat. And it's why we've seen little to no coverage of this vicious assault from earlier this week. Trump supporter, activist, brutally punched. He's trying to videotape the whole thing over his political beliefs. We don't know everything what happened, but 3 witnesses confirm his story. Take a look.
You want to hit me? I'll shoot you. And then that's get the that's not Fritz. On this fight, dude, I'm with you. Yeah. On this fight, I'm with you. Put your hands on me again. Racist little dude.
Hayden Williams is the kid that just got cold-cocked in that particular video. We're letting the facts play out. So far, 3 eyewitnesses support his story, that he was assaulted. He said it was over a pro-Trump sign. Mainstream media, silence. No rush into judgment here. In fact, pretty much no coverage at all. But what else should we expect from a mainstream media that is actively working on behalf of the Democratic Party? First, to stop Donald Trump from ever becoming president, but now they want to impugn the character of millions of Americans that support the president, that like the success in our economy, that like the 5.3 million new jobs. We'll have a lot more on this coming up. But first, a quick update on our Hannity watch of Mueller's witch hunt. The probe is reportedly now in its final stages. There were earlier reports this week that it would wrap up and the report would be delivered to the DOJ next week. But according to a great new article from Kimberly Strassel, look at this. Democrats are anticipating a huge letdown with no collusion literally written on the wall at this point. Conspiracy theorist, House Intel Committee chair, biggest liar in Congress, and I can prove it, Adam Schiff, he's plotting his backup plan. I'm sure the media will follow suit, and it's something that we have warned about for months. That means nonstop, never-ending, endless, frivolous, expensive, pointless investigations on the same topic, and President Trump and his family and anybody associated with him. They know they'll find nothing, but it gives Democrats a venue to continue what has been 2 years of never-ending smear and slander and innuendo and conspiracy theories and character assassination of Donald Trump and anybody that likes him. Gives Schiff an excuse to do his favorite activity, lie to you, we the people.